caught live on video and widely shared online was supposed to be a scripted wrestling segment, but quickly escalated into a real and brutal assault with Jackson slamming Smith down on the mat and throwing over 20 uncontested punches at Smith as he laid motionless. He attacked an unarmed man and tried to violently hurt him. How violently did he hurt him? Supposedly, per reports, not only was Psycho Stu unconscious, he was literally choking on his blood and teeth. Why am I bringing all this up? Because recently there was an incident at a wrestling event, and the incident involved Rampage Jackson's son. Now, for people that don't know who Rampage Jackson is, you do know him. You just don't know him by name. He was a UFC fighter, a major fighter, and his head looks like a pit bull. Like, you would know him if you see him, okay? He is, I don't know, C-list celebrity, maybe even B-list. He played BA in the remake of the A-Team movie, right? So like he's somebody, and he has a son that's MMA. So Raja Jackson is a 25-year-old professional MMA fighter and the son of the legendary Quentin Rampage Jackson. He's compiled about a 4-0 record in amateur MMA and was seen as a promising talent basically because of his skill set and his lineage. However, Raj has struggled to transition that promise into a stable MMA career, reportedly due to personal issues and a tendency for self-sabotage. He also explored crossover opportunities in entertainment, wrestling, attempting to leverage his MMA pedigree. So that leads us to the Knox Pro event. So Raja Jackson was invited to a Knox Pro wrestling event in Los Angeles, which attracts independent wrestling and MMA talent for crossover segments. The event was meant to feature a scripted encounter, a spot between Raja and a wrestler known as Stu Smith, Psycho Stu, blurring the lines between real combat sports and stage wrestling drama. Okay, before I continue on, I have to break this down. Yes, professional wrestling is scripted, meaning that you know who's going to be the winner and the loser the majority of the time. There has been some instances where they walk out there, they don't know what the hell is going to happen. But it's scripted as far as the storyline of the match. When I ran a wrestling company, I did not tell them what to do in the ring. All I did was give them the finish, who was going to go over. You know, the finish being the finish of the match. So who was going to win, who was going to lose, and how they were going to win or lose. Most of the time they call that in the ring. They want to feel the essence of the crowd. So most professional wrestlers do not script out the match. Some do, some don't. But the finish, the end of the match, and how it's going to end is always scripted. Now, what they're talking about with Raja Jackson and Psycho Stu was there was going to be a spot, which meant that it wasn't a wrestling match that he was going to be participating in. It's a certain sequence that happens. Sometimes a spot is a power bomb through a table. Sometimes a spot is a wrestler being interrupted as they're walking down the aisle to start the ring. It's a spot. It's a particular moment in the overall story of a match. So he was supposed to participate in a scripted spot. Now, why am I bringing all this up? Tension reportedly existed backstage after an incident involving Smith and Jackson, which may have contributed to Raja breaking script and attacking Smith for real during their segment. So, what does all that mean? Breaking script. The script goes, this is what we're going to do. So, you're going to come out, we're going to talk a little trash to each other. I'm going to push you, you're going to push me. I'm going to try to tackle you, you're going to slam me. That's the script, right? You know beforehand, that's what's going to happen. Y'all go over it. You push me, I push you, I attempt to tackle you, you slam me. That's all that's supposed to happen. right? That is the script. When somebody breaks the script or goes into business for themselves, these are all terms that are used in wrestling. It goes into business for themselves. This means that they've broken the script. So no longer is it going to be you push me, I push you, I attempt to tackle you, you slam me. Now it is you push me, I'm gonna punch you, slam you down to the ground, go grab a chair, hit you with a chair. Not saying that that's what happened in this scenario. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but that's breaking the script. So supposedly, Raja and Smith had an altercation before the match. Now, this was supposed to lead up to the match or that spot that they had scripted earlier. Something got mistangled and there's tension there. And then Rampage Jackson's son goes into business for himself. His presence was intended to capitalize on his MMA reputation and bring a spectacle to the wrestling event, but it went disastrously off course when Raja lost control and administered a violent, unscripted assault. Raja violently attacked wrestler Stu Smith during that wrestling event in Los Angeles, leaving Smith unconscious and seriously injured. The incident caught live on video and widely shared online was supposed to be a scripted wrestling segment. Like I said, it was supposed to be scripted, but quickly escalated into a real and brutal assault with Jackson slamming Smith down on the mat and throwing over 20 uncontested punches at Smith as he laid motionless. Jackson's actions are under active police investigation, and many in the wrestling community have condemned the attack as selfish, irresponsible act of violence, calling it among one of the worst ever seen in the ring. So let me repeat this. They have a scripted spot that they're supposed to do. Supposedly what happened before the scripted spot is Psycho Stu hit Raja Jackson with a can, like a soda can, beer can, or whatever. And Raja's like, what are you doing? And he was like, hey, man, don't break kayfabe. This is in a crowd. So this is all before Psycho Stu's match. As Psycho Stu is in his match, this is before the planned spot. As Psycho Stu is in his match, Raja Jackson, who is also a streamer, is streaming online saying, hey, everybody thinks this is going to be fake. I'm about to go in there and beat his ass for real. He's saying that ahead of time. He proceeds to go along with the planned script spot. He goes in the ring. He picks up Psycho Stu. Psycho Stu gives him his body. So when you're in professional wrestling, you give somebody your body, that means that they're going to perform a move on you, and you're kind of helping them along with it. As a grown man who lifts a ton of weight, let me tell you, it is very difficult to pick up dead weight. It's extremely difficult. Grab a kid, grown adults out there, grab one of your kids when they fall out and they're not allowing you to pick them up and it's just dead weight. It's hard. It's hard to do it. So Smith gave him his body because that was part of the planned script. Raja broke script by slamming him down so violently that he knocked him unconscious and then stood over top of him in that UFC MMA mounting position and started throwing wild punches, 20 of them, that it looked like it looked like he was legitimately trying to kill him. Regardless of any prior misunderstandings or tensions backstage, Jackson bears a lot of responsibility for failing to respect the boundaries and safety protocols of professional wrestling. Not only that, the professional protocols of being a human being. He attacked an unarmed man and tried to violently hurt him. How violently did he hurt him? Supposedly, per reports, not only was Psycho Stu unconscious, he was literally choking on his blood and teeth. They finally got him in stable condition, but he's still critical. That's how badly this kid beat him. Now, his dad started defending him by saying, hey, look, he had just got a concussion a couple of days earlier. I didn't know that he was going to be doing this event. I don't think he should have been doing this event. That was the initial. response. The second response is always it's supposed to be better, because typically the initial response to anything is emotional. Then when you see the reaction, you're like, hold up, I got to do some PR work. So then Rampage Jackson was like, no, my son was totally wrong. I don't understand why he did that. We're going to have a discussion. There's a rumor floating around now that Rampage has turned his back on his son and said, I can't do nothing with him. Like, he has these temper problems. He has these anger issues. This is part of the reason why his MMA career hasn't taken off the way it should have. But yes, it's under police investigation, because this is a brutal, brutal assault. And I hold Raja completely responsible for this.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.